Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm MaryAnne, and you're watching MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. Welcome to your Sun Sign Daily Love Connection readings. Welcome to today being June 23rd. Happy birthday, Carol. She's one of my best friends from my childhood. A Cancer. We are in Cancer season. And welcome to the featured sign of Scorpio today. Scorpio, this is great. You do very well in Cancer season. This is your fellow water sign. And of course, you being water and very, very deep in your emotions and your intensity and your, your ability to really pick up on feelings and energies and your own higher power, your intuitions are strong. You are generally known to be very interested in the human psyche as well. So I have known in my lifetime several, and will probably continue to meet many, many Scorpios that are interested in the more tabooed subjects, ruled by Pluto now, more formally Mars. So I consider both. Pluto being the more of the harsher planets that really brings light and truth to circumstances. You like to be the, what do I call you? The detective of the zodiac. You like to really dig deep, go way down into the recesses of our bodies and the water that tends to get a little stale and stagnant, the shadow versus the higher energies of all of us. And it's about purging and redoing and renewing and, the phoenix rising from the ashes kind of attitude is what I always associate with a lot of Scorpios. There's that darker energy at times, that mystery, that intrigue, and when in general you're just a very, very loving, heart-centered, raw, emotionally kind of person. So this time with Cancer season being a very particularly harmonious, energy that works well in the angles and so forth with you, as well as the fact that we've had Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, which is the third, that makes the trine, if you will, of water, for you, as this reading is approaching for you. And we did have Jupiter retrograde last week, but it doesn't matter. It's still very potent, and it really mainly means that a lot of the energies that Jupiter and Pisces create, which is healing, which is creativity, which is absolute love and magic, and just allowing ourselves to give and to share with others. Receptivity is really big right now for that in the world, just wanting to share, wanting to be selfless, wanting to give, and then in turn you get so much more back from just opening your heart and being vulnerable. And that's a beautiful thing, especially since it's summer solstice. When it turned into Cancer season, we also had summer solstice. And that's about getting out. And a lot of times I know Cancers love being at home, and that's the kind of energy a lot of us are feeling. We're like, I kind of want to redo my home a little bit, or my garden, or I just want to, maybe move. Maybe I want to take a vacation I haven't in so long. It's about changes, absolutely, but the kind that really lift us and fill our souls on an emotional and physical level. So what I like to do, of course, in my regular format is I pick the featured sign by going around my astrology wheel. We are in the second half of June, so these are the second readings I've done, and I'm going to pick your highlighted connection right in front of you, as I always do, that Spirit needs you to know about specifically. I read 3 major category messages for this connection, and I finish it with a rune, just kind of, that cherry on the sundae, culminating the reading. And it's amazing how synchronistic all of that comes together when I do that. So your particular highlighted connection today, Scorpio, is Cancer. It's just like that, it just feels right. It feels like you're in your energy. You're feeling like you just want to kind of go with the flow right now. And the intensity of your emotions have kind of softened right now. And you're really more about retreating and taking in this beautiful time of year where we can become more creative. And yes, we want to be more in touch with our feelings and those that we love. And that means a lot to you. You take love very seriously, Scorpio. You know, you're very devoted and you're very, very loyal and you're very possessive at times, right? I think even that's kind of easing because you feel this sense of harmony that you don't have to push as much. Well, Cancer is your fellow water sign, as I said, and Cancer is so incredibly nurturing and caring and sensitive and insightful and ruled by the moon. So they have that extra bit of magic when it comes to their intuition and their psychic abilities. So you two kind of really vibe well together many, many times. And a lot of the times, of course, your love language is essential. I read the general symbolisms and interesting, you know, messages that come through for me in regards to tarot and astrology, as they're both intertwined. You know, the options to take in this energy or not, your free will is always a part of it. But I just have had such incredible readings that are really motivating us with these two, you know, solar eclipses and, well, the full moon eclipse and solar eclipse that have been still affecting us since they happened, and the last one being the new moon solar eclipse in Gemini on June 10th. So yeah, we're going to feel it for months. It opens up new things. It brings new beginnings. It does bring closings, absolutely, so that the beginnings can then therefore happen. And that's a part of our life. That's the cycles. That's what you get and understand very well. And so there's this real fine kind of beautiful sense of wanting to open your hearts more, you know, be more willing to communicate in ways that are harmonious, you know, and not wanting to find that reason to have strife or, you know, or just outbursts or anything like that. Though we do have Mars in Leo, so if you have an extra surge of energy, it's best to utilize that now to get you going and make you feel like you can do more than you have maybe in the last year or more. I know I'm still working on that as I go back to work and have been. It's just the momentum that's building in a beautiful, positive way. You are a fixed sign, Scorpio, so you have your set ideals and, you know, opinions and such. And so I feel like the softness of the Cancer can help persuade you without making you feel like they're trying to just eliminate your side of the story or your needs or your beliefs. I think you can work very well on being flexible together. And the really good news is that we, even though, because every time I stutter now I have to associate it with Mercury retrograde. Well, it stationed forward yesterday. So yeah, we're still in the shadowy period. But from now on, days and weeks ahead, clarity comes to the picture in all regards. And let's just say you don't have a relationship, but this Cancer highlighted connection for you is the element and the feeling that you feel. So there is this harmony because it's in water, and that's what you thrive. That's what makes you thrive. That's what makes you you. So very unique and beautiful and an inspiration to people who aren't water signs. So I like this a lot for you. I am going to read the three major categories, and I am going to say that if you have not had a chance to read your beginning, I should say, watch, I always say read, watch the beginning of the month readings, because, you know, I mentioned I do 2 readings for every single featured sign, and then the highlighteds come along, and they're just there to be a guidance for us, or people, circumstances, all types of love, right? You don't have to be in a relationship to be listening to my readings whatsoever. It could be love of an idea or an inspiration that you have. Certainly all the different forms of love are all part of it. So yeah, if you don't have this Cancer relationship, it could be that you're just really feeling in your element and you're really feeling that need to just enjoy yourself right now, and recreation is at the forefront. And, you know, vacationing and things and people we haven't seen and parties and birthday celebrations, certainly. Just all sorts of wonderful things. So I do change my tarot and oracle decks for the beginning of the mid-month readings, and what I've done for the remainder of the mid-months as I started it was just pick a different tarot deck, just going with my gut. So for you today, Scorpio, I picked the beautiful Tarot of the Witches. Now this is a gift given to me about 4+ years ago now from one of my brothers, and It's gorgeous, and I'm really excited I picked this because I have not used this in a while. So I hope the messages that come through will resonate and will give you some inspiration and some guidance that maybe you've been wanting to hear about or tune into. So the first category, and there's 3, as I mentioned, is the overall energy bringing you to the reading. And you have the King of, is that the valet? Okay, so to me, the King is the King. The valet to me would be, it's so interesting. I'm sorry, it's a new deck, but it's also really cool. It's so different. I will get to the point. I want to say that this is the Page, because the Page is the youthful. The Knight then being, and all pentacles, or excuse me, all of the court cards being people, circumstances, in your life. So the Pages of the valet is the youthful, the more new energy coming in, something that's still fresh and in the process of being developed. Once again, with these incredible energies that came through from both of the eclipses, that's absolutely fuel for new ideas and beginnings and ideas and everything that this represents. However, it could also be somebody that you're in association with that's younger or has that younger energy about them. It could be about talks having to do with your children, ways that you can have a communication that feels right and direct and clear and to the point, as air elements tend to be, all in the mind, all in the thoughts, all in the ways that we converse and interact with each other. Information is key with this. So it tells me that in regards to this connection of the 2 of you, there's going to be some interesting new developments and information that could be very, very prosperous and very, very optimistic. Something that's going to be of necessity to you in some way. It could be financial, it could be physical, because it does pertain to institutions a lot of times when you have the swords. And that could be, anywhere from doctors to lawyers to banks and so on, right? Knowledge, higher learning, education. Maybe talking about, the plans that you have to send your child to college and that sort of thing. I mean, the list goes on, but I'm bringing in the information as I see it. And here's the actual card and what it looks like. In the background is that fiery element in red that comes from our ground root chakra, right? Our ambition, our stability, and our motivation to make things safe and secure in our lives and what we do to achieve that. So yes, it's definitely about messages if that hasn't already happened. Those new moons can really bring in information unexpectedly at times, of course, some that we've been waiting on. And like I said, once again, with this being upright, with the retrograde station forward now, in Gemini again, still the air sign, there's definitely some information you're wanting to hear and you will be receiving. Exactly when, I would say at the outside by the new moon in Cancer, by the way, I believe around the 10th or something, maybe a little after, in July, letting the dust settle, so to speak, and moving forward. So being patient, having your fun, enjoying each other's company is a really good thing to do right now. And I'm feeling actually anxious and excited in a way. It's like this surprise element to it that feels really, really good. But certainly worthwhile and certainly something that you deserve. And yeah, answers coming, for heaven's sakes. Delays are behind us now. They're moving forward, and that's a beautiful thing. The second category for you, beautiful Scorpio and Cancer element highlighted today, is going to be the possible blessings or obstacles. So let us see what you have. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands. There's the fire. There's the energy once again. There's the challenges. There's the working through, sometimes challenges, obstacles. It doesn't mean that it's a horrible time. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. 5 is change. You have to have challenges a lot of times to get through to the other side. There's blocks and obstacles that have happened during this retrograde. I feel that that's a huge part of what this is. It's letting me know that, you're going to persevere anyway. And if there is a little bit of the, you know, conflicting ways to go about it, you know, decisions are coming and they're kind of changing as you go along, you will work through it. There's no question about that. But just be prepared for, yeah, maybe a few obstacles prior to the outcome. You know, I mean, it's always it's always amazing when we can say, okay, this is going to happen in this amount of time, and I'm going to get there, and it's going to happen like that. Yeah, it's great to put that out. In fact, I'm a big component believer in that, because that's what sets up your thought process, and our thoughts become things and so forth. But at the same time, you know, always allowing the change of course, if you will. And just knowing that there's this fired up energy in you that's not going to stop you, not by any means. And you have help, you have other people involved, which can cause those challenges, you know. That's just the reality. They may not always have the same perspective as you, or, you know, and they're dealing with fire. So that's animated. That's just kind of like fiery, quick energy that can come and go and flash and change, you know, it's temperament, if you will, rather quickly. So yeah, I see that as a blessing, because you are forewarned, forearmed, forewarned type of thing, where you're going to make things happen. You will hear the information you want. It may not be happening in the way that you originally had thought, but that's kind of exciting in itself. It could be actually way better. So just know that you've got all you need. You've got that energy, you've got that Leo and Mars, or Mars and Leo, so that's going to keep that energy going for all water signs, all signs in general. This affects all of us, right? The more, you know, personal planets, when they're in different signs, they affect us in different ways, but overall, it is about our ingenuity, our creativity when it's Mars and Leos, certainly our strength, our courage, our determination, and that's what all of this represents, okay? And just having that faith and just pushing through. And then we have the beautiful category of finances and wealth. I like to put that in there because it is about money. It is about the energy of money. And a lot of people are questioning that. There's a lot of people waiting on things. That would be the retrograde, because we're hearing information, but none of it's actually transpired yet. But it's in the process. It's moving towards the gate, if you will. And, you know, as long as you can take your deep breaths and go about your day and be as present as possible, it makes things a whole lot better. And then when it comes in, it's just like, oh, fantastic. How wonderful, you know? But it could be about your health. It could be about your family. It could be about your relationship and the wealth in that, which to me supersedes, you know, money anytime. Because that's all I really, really want, is the comforts in those things I mentioned. And yes, when money comes into the play and I'm working hard and seeing the results, it's a beautiful feeling. And what's really wonderful is you got in the category, under the category of finances, the Queen of Coins. So it's on. I mean, it is the heart. When it's the element of earth, it is the materialistic realm. It is the practical parts of us that keep things moving, keep things, you know, organized and sensible and very, very heart-centered, when it's the queen versus the king, both being mature, both having acquired a great amount of wealth at some point, being smart in how they invest, sharing, comfortable, feeling good with what you have, willing to give to others, and then of course it always comes back. That's just the way of law of attraction. You've got that beautiful heart-centered color of green, and just your overall sense is a really good, stable feeling right now that can go on and last for years to come. And you worked for this. It's not like it just came out of nowhere, though it seems like it at times, especially when it waited so long. So I'm loving the balance of the energies, first and foremost, for your reading, Scorpio and highlighted Cancer, because you're in your element as water, and a beautiful combination of harmony and fulfillment and great opportunities for, you know, great creativity. And then you have the swords, which has to do with your mind and the sharpness and the focus that you want, and it's coming back with retrograde going forward. You have the fire and the wands to keep that action going, keep that strength, that spirited energy. Motivation is key. And then you have the earth element of the grounded, practical, sensible side that allows you to build and to work together and support each other and reap the benefits. You know, it's the things you tangibly can touch, feel, and that you have actually manifested. So yeah, the harvest is coming, as it were. So I really like this. I hope you like this deck. I think it's gorgeous. And yeah, it's beautiful. I'm going to, like I said, finish with the rune as a culmination to the reading. And I'll explain a little bit further about that. But the rune, of course, is, to me, one of the most incredibly powerful oracle divinations that I have run across. And I've been fascinated with them for years. So I'm learning them, and I just want to take it a day at a time. And I'm going to put it under the second category, possible blessings or obstacles, with the Five of Wands. That spirit, that motivation, that working through your challenges and keeping going and never letting go of your dreams and your aspirations. And this is what I used to call like a hat, but I'll look and see exactly the position, the name, and then the important messages that come through for you as I lay it right here on your second category. And what we have here, and I'll see if that is the right position to put it in. Okay, it is number 3, Thursaz. Thursaz, Thursaz. Number 3 is about growth. It's about expansion. It's about working together and working to build and to master and perfect. And it's a gorgeous, wonderful, positive influence right now. And it shows me that with this card, with the whole 5 and the, you know, the working through and the perseverance that comes through, and then the gold at the end of the rainbow kind of thing. So yeah, that is actually how they have it placed. Am I right about this? Yes, it is. So it is actually looking like a P, but it does start with a T. So, and the number 3, like I said, so we'll go inside and I'll give you even more information about the time frame they're speaking of, and I opened right up to it. First of all, and this is really important because I laid it on the second category with the 5 of Wands. What I didn't mention is that when you get overwhelmed and you kind of overdo it sometimes, and there are these challenges and you're using your physical, spiritual, motivational self to make things happen, you want to watch your body. I'm not a doctor, but it says the word associated with this is spine. So it's about having that spine and having that, you know, still to practice strength and empowerment and standing strong, you know. But it also recognizes that sometimes too much physical work can be a little scary. It can be a little bit daunting, and it could be harmful. You want to be very, very careful. You want to watch your step, you know, with that anxious energy of fire and ambition. Sometimes we can trip, or we can just, in our areas we're so familiar with, something can be a little bit out and we don't see it. Just being more mindful. That's what I'm getting from that. The period time is between July 30th and August 13th. So we're speaking of the period of Leo, and that was brought up earlier. Fire, and here it is on the fire, you know, fire card, 5 of Wands. So using that motivation and energy in the best possible ways, you know, and igniting it and keeping it going, and being as balanced as possible all the while, for the reasons mentioned. The words associated, though, are enchantment, strangers, fruitful projects, calculations, risk of weakening for those who break the rules. Well, that's just something we need to recognize anyway. I mean, there's a lot of that going on. And I mean, people feel really good about that in their own way, and they have reasons and explanations, and, you know, they feel convictions in the way that they do things. You be your own judge. I'm not here to judge anybody. So that's just a little bit of a warning in that regard. But then also it goes on to say, good luck to be gathered before the unexpected dispels it. So gather that luck, baby. Make it happen, Scorpio, in the way that you know that you can, in the way that's for the highest good for everybody. And yeah, I mean, we have our ups and downs and days that appear to be lucky, which really, I'm told, and what I feel kind of in alignment with, luck is about being prepared and the timing all put together in a beautiful, synchronistic way, that serendipitous thing that happens to us a lot of times when everything is just set so well. Then also believing and bringing that to the forefront. So I like that a lot for you. I hope that's making sense and you're resonating with this, and do give it time, because there's no set time. Anytime you watch this video, of course, is perfectly fine. But I am going to finish with the oracle messages like I always do, and this is for every single Scorpio in every one of your relationships. Should the highlighted connection not make sense at this time, and just so you know, I mean, these eclipses bring people in and out of our lives. You don't know if you're single and you're thinking, I don't know, I have no idea. I haven't met anybody. It's been a while, I'm a little out of practice. Put it out there. Just believe. This is this very, very special time with Jupiter in Pisces. And Pisces is extremely fortunate for you as well, because of the same element and the fundamental just likeness of the two of you, which really helps. It's in your favor. So put out those dreams, put out those beliefs, and let them go and watch them come back and materialize. It's phenomenal how that happens, and it happens every day, all the time. So your message for the beautiful deck, Wisdom of the Oracle, I like this. This is very good. I like it because of what I just said, basically, where you put those dreams out, right? And you just, poof, this is what I want. This is what I asked them this at the new moon. I'm still waiting because it can take a while to transpire when it's the beautiful eclipses, which it was both. You have the observer, and that's not unlike you. You are very keen on watching and studying and feeling, as I said, and picking up on the energies and knowing and just going with your gut and your amazing magical gifts that you have been born with, really. And there's a new moon. As far as I'm concerned, it's more of a newer moon that's inspiring you, and these gifts of yours and these intentions of yours. And sitting back for now, looking at the stars more, looking at this incredible universe and how we are all an integral part of it, an important aspect of every one of us is a part of it. And 49, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 3 plus 1, that's a 4. That's stability, that's grounded, that's contentment, that's happiness, that's stability, that sense of feeling at peace, feeling like everything is going to be okay. I am protected. I've got the solid 4 walls around me, to keep me balanced and to keep me present. So let me read to you what it says specifically, though, because I love how the wordings in these beautiful oracle divinations speak to all of us. And this particular message says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. And the message is, most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they can come to believe that those are the only reality. Now, I know we all have had that happen at some point, especially as a fixed sign. A lot of times we have a certain way of believing and seeing, and it feels right, but just opening up to different perspectives. There are times when you need to distance. Forgive me. What? To gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. And I love that for you, and I fully believe that about you. Scorpio, and this has been shown time and time again with your ability to transform as you do. So I hope you can take that and place that in a portion of your heart and just carry it with you and just watch the magic come from that and reveal itself to you. And in closing, I'm going to read the beautiful Super Attractor Manifestation deck, which is about manifesting the life you choose. Feeling, visualizing, but really, really feeling it into reality. That's the last most important component to Law of Attraction. The emotion part, which you have that down in spades. That's how you deal with life in general, is all about how you feel. So what your specific beautiful message for today is: when I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, I can trust that everything is working out for me. Even if I don't know when or how it will happen. I only just picked this the other day, so this is a very, very important message. And I love it because it's all about faith. It's all about trusting. You know, we co-create. We do have to put forth our energy and our efforts, even if it doesn't seem like effort. Any little mention or thought or feel is a type of energy that would work towards what you're looking for, what you're trying to create. And the reality is that you don't have to know when or how. Let it go once you put it out there. That's what this whole reading speaks to in a lot of ways. It's time to relax. It's time to enjoy. Take in this beautiful summer weather. Enjoy your love. And, you know, just believe. And magical, magical, wonderful things are coming. Trust me on that. If you have subscribed, I greatly appreciate it for it. I can't speak still. It's quite amazing. I do appreciate that you may have already subscribed. It means a lot to me, and it's very supportive. If you have not, I would greatly appreciate you taking the time. And it's just a moment, and you don't get charged anything, but YouTube loves to see it. The more they see people subscribe, the more they're going to let me continue to do content, and they'll help me by sharing and other things that come along with that. But only if your heart feels it. You know, I wouldn't want you to do it otherwise. I just appreciate it, and I thank you for taking the time today. Come back for your July reading, which is right around the corner. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye for now.